The 5 best 1440p gaming monitors in 2024. There are a few advantages to getting a 1440p monitor for gaming, as they strike a balance between having good enough image quality and great gaming performance. A 1440p resolution isn't as taxing on your graphics card as higher resolutions, letting you reach higher frame rates. These monitors are available in a wide range of refresh rates, even up to 360 Hz, so they're great for almost any type of gamer, and even current-gen gaming consoles, like the PS5 and Xbox Series X, support 1440p gaming. When looking at a 1440p monitor's gaming performance, you should consider its response time so that motion looks smooth, and which variable refresh rate (VRR) format it supports to ensure it's compatible with your graphics card. Low input lag results in a responsive feel, but most monitors have low input lag. Most 1440p monitors are available with a 27 or 32-inch screen, but choosing the right size really is a personal preference. We've bought and tested more than 295 monitors, and in this video are our recommendations for the best gaming monitors, with a native 1440p resolution available to buy. Number 1. Samsung 27-inch Odyssey G7 series gaming monitor. The Samsung Odyssey G7 C32 G75T is a 240Hz, 1440p gaming monitor. It's part of Samsung's 2020 Odyssey gaming lineup, and it's one of few monitors available in two sizes, 27 and 32 inches, which we tested. It has a 240Hz refresh rate with native FreeSync variable refresh rate (VRR) support to reduce screen tearing. It's also GSINC compatible if you want to use it with an NVIDIA graphics card. It has a 1000 arc curve that helps bring the edges of the screen within your field of vision, and it has a VA panel with edgelit local dimming, but unlike some of Samsung's models that came out after this one, like the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7S32B G75, it doesn't have mini LED backlighting. The C32 G75T's extreme curve is a real asset, not only for gaming, but for general use too. We've always been fans of the 32-inch, 16:9 format. The C32 G75T is just like that, only curved. You'd think a 1000mm radius would be extreme, and it is, but it doesn't call as much attention to itself as the photos suggest. Working on documents was just as easy as if the screen were flat. At a 2 or 3 foot viewing distance, image distortion wasn't noticeable. In SDR mode, we were impressed with the C32 G75T's image, both with and without the local dimming feature. When it's off, the contrast ratio is still over 2000 to 1, which puts it ahead of any IPS monitor. Watching video is definitely more fun on a 16:9 screen like this. A CinemaScope film, 2.35:1, plays with narrow black bars on top and bottom. Playing the same thing on a 21:9 would put the bars on the sides. This will come down to user preference, but we like the extra height better than the extra width. We found no fault with the 32-inch Odyssey G7's gaming performance. Both AMD FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility worked equally well, running at 240Hz with HDR through the DisplayPort input. Frame rates in Tomb Raider hit 200 frames per second (FPS) a few times with sustained speeds around 180 frames per second. Coupled with super-fast panel response, this made motion and input lag completely free of artifacts or distractions. Again, that extra height really drew us into the game. We couldn't see the pixel structure, even when sitting 2 feet away. Samsung's excellent contrast and accurately saturated color enhanced the image details, like textures. Number 2. ASUS ROG Swift 27-inch 1440p gaming monitor. If you're concerned about the risk of permanent burn-in on OLEDs or want something cheaper, check out the ASUS ROG Swift PG279QM. While it has a 27-inch screen and 240Hz refresh rate like the ASUS ROG Swift OLED PG27AQDM, it's a step down in picture quality because it doesn't have an OLED panel. It can't display the same perfect blacks as the PG27AQDM, so it's a worse choice for darkroom gaming. However, it does have a few advantages, as it has native G-Sync VRR support, which makes it the better choice if you have an NVIDIA graphics card and want to take full advantage of it. It includes features you can only use with NVIDIA graphics cards, like reflex latency analyzer and variable overdrive to improve motion handling. Besides those extra perks, it's impressive for gaming as it has an excellent response time across its entire refresh rate range. Despite not performing well in darkrooms, it's even a good choice if you want to use it in a room with a few lights, as it gets bright enough to fight glare and has good reflection handling. Number 3. LG G7 GP850B Ultragear Gaming Monitor. If you want something cheaper, but aren't necessarily looking for a budget monitor, the LG G7 GP850B is a good alternative in the lower mid-range price category. As you go for lower-cost displays, there are a few sacrifices you need to make, and in this case, the LG has a lower 180Hz max refresh rate compared to the 280Hz refresh rate on the Dell Alienware AW2723DF. This means it isn't as good of a choice if you're a competitive gamer who needs the highest refresh rate, but it's still good enough for casual gamers. Luckily, motion handling is incredible, as it has a fantastic response time across its entire refresh rate range. This monitor is also available as the 27 GP83BB at different retailers, but it doesn't have a backlight strobing feature like the 27 GP850B model has to reduce persistence blur. The monitor also works well with both the PS5 and Xbox Series XS, but it doesn't support VRR with the PS5. If you want a monitor that does, you can also consider the Dell Alienware AW2724DM, which is very similar but has slightly worse motion handling at lower refresh rates. Number 4. Dell G2724D Gaming Monitor. If you're looking for the best 1440p gaming monitor on a budget, check out the Dell G2724D. It's a very basic gaming monitor that performs very well. It has a 27-inch screen size like the LG 27 GP850B/27 GP83BB, but it doesn't have an overclock feature, so its max refresh rate is 165 Hz, and it doesn't have a backlight strobing feature like the LG. It still provides excellent motion handling with an extremely fast response time at any refresh rate. Regarding its VRR support, it supports all common VRR formats, including FreeSync, GSANC, and even HDMI 4M VRR, which is the format that the PS5 supports. It has a few gaming-oriented features, like crosshairs and different vision modes, giving you a competitive advantage over opponents. That said, it doesn't have many extra features, as it lacks a USB hub and even an audio output, so if that's something you want, check out the Gigabyte M27QP. However, that monitor has worse motion handling, so stick with the Dell if you want the best performance. Number 5. Alienware AW2724DM Gaming Monitor. The Dell AW2724DM is excellent for gaming. It has a native 165Hz refresh rate that you can overclock to 180Hz, and it supports all common VRR formats to reduce screen tearing. Motion looks incredibly smooth, especially at high refresh rates, as it has a fast response time, and gaming also feels responsive thanks to its low input lag. Sadly, it's disappointing for darkroom gaming as it has a low native contrast ratio that makes blacks look gray in the dark. The LG 27 GP850B/27 GP83BB and the Dell Alienware AW2724DM are both excellent lower mid-range 1440p gaming monitors. They each have a max refresh rate of 180 Hz, and motion handling is fantastic between each, but the LG has a backlight strobing feature to reduce persistence blur. The Dell gets brighter, so it's slightly better to use in bright rooms, but the LG is a bit better for use in dark rooms, or for watching HDR content, because it doesn't have a local dimming feature that worsens the contrast like on the Dell. The Gigabyte M27Q, Rev 1.0, and the Dell Alienware AW2724DM are similar 1440p gaming monitors. The Dell has a slightly higher 180Hz refresh rate compared to the 170Hz refresh rate on the Gigabyte, and it has better motion handling at higher refresh rates, but the Gigabyte has an optional backlight strobing feature to reduce persistence blur. While they're both excellent for gaming, there are a few differences when it comes to office work, as the Dell has better ergonomics. However, the Gigabyte has more office features like a KVM switch and USB-C port, meaning it's easier to multitask with it.